Would you ever trust a doctor in the 1920s with your health? Have you ever seen this ad before? Well, tobacco companies had a decade-long campaign alongside doctors to help calm the concerns of citizens who were already growing worried that cigarettes were bad for their health. These tobacco companies successfully influenced these doctors to not only promote tobacco as healthy for their patients, but also to prescribe it for treatments for things such as asthma. This truly shows a sign of the times. As a 21st century viewer, you know that healthcare has come a long way. Yet why do we still see such an ignorance towards the chiropractic profession due to the misinformation of the doctors from the 1920s? If you're ready for a story of adventure, here we'll find it in 1920s America, because here lies the saga of a man born well before his time, willing to risk imprisonment 12 times just to help people around him. We're talking about Herbert Ross Reaver. It's 1923 in Ohio, and the medical board has officially declared war against the chiropractic profession. For a chiropractor now to practice, they needed to go to the medical board to obtain a license of limited medical practitioner, in which would allow them to practice in their state. To get this license, they needed to pass an exam that was traditionally made for MD graduates and not tailored for chiropractic graduates. Due to this, from 1929 to 1950, not a single license was granted in the state of Ohio. Chiropractors were convicted under a law that stated that chiropractic was a branch of surgery. conviction under this law would result in a $25 to $500 fine. And to give you some perspective, at the time chiropractors were only charging about $1 to $2 per adjustment. Now, this fine, when it was paid, would often go right to the medical board to carry on the warfare against the chiropractic profession. So many chiropractors would choose the jail time over paying the fine. At the peak of prosecution, 450 chiropractors went to jail in a single year for their profession. Go to jail for chiropractic became a very popular slogan amongst the chiropractic community, and this is where Herbert will take us next.
Think of all their crossings. Taking steps is easy, standing still is hard. Remember all their faces, remember all their voices. Everything is different the second time around. Waiting on you, and you got time, and you got
It's now 1949, and here are the key points of Herbert's life in Florida. He moved to Florida because he was going to be seen as a habitual offender in Ohio, and he soon began helping a baseball player who was set for early retirement. Though prejudice ran high against the black community in America, and Millie was soon arrested for having these dark-skinned men in her car, Herbert began writing to the newspaper for fair treatment of these minorities, and Herbert even supported his brother Clarence in founding an inclusive chiropractic college because Palmer's student body voted against having Dorothy Clark attend due to the color of her skin. Hostility grew against Herbert due to having these radical ideas of including minorities in society. Bomb threats began to happen, and threats to Herbert and his son's life. And soon, things took a drastic turn when the KKK hired 2 men to beat Herbert Ross Reaver within inches of his life. Herbert was at death's door, but his story won't end here because times were changing in America.
I withstood the torture because I believed what I was doing was right. Young people today have no idea what it was like to practice in those days. I'm just an ordinary chiropractor who became caught up in the events of the times.
This has been Chiro History at NZCC. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Now when I change all the people with